truth.
Don't label us left or right. Our American. Not looking for a war, but we came to fight. Our American. Somebody's gotta stand up. Stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside. American, that's what I am, it's what I think, and what I do. I am American, that's what I am, and I bleed red, white, and blue.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Super Dave Show. It is May 17th. It's a Monday, and I think we're finally done with all the cool weather. Actually, it was so far, it's been a pretty good spring compared to usual in St. Louis here. So, in case you're wondering, I was put in Facebook jail again. And you are not going to believe why. Now, I'm going to give you some explanations. I think what's really going on here. I realize that I'm a target. But I honestly think I'm a bigger target for the Republican Party than I am the Democrat Party. And I think everybody should understand that we need to be concerned about the enemies in our own party instead of being concerned about the enemies in another party. So it's really, and it's about the R's. And I'll go through that a little bit here too. If you are listening, let me know because I'm not really sure. I want to. In fact, I'm going to tell you. I just don't understand. I was just trying to be very careful, and I just said in one of my posts that I now understand why the foolish Germans allowed Hitler to take over. I mean, really, compared to everything else on Facebook. That's big. That's a big deal. I don't get it. So, I'm going to tell you where I think this is coming from, and it may be listing right now anyway. But we have this pathetic lawyer in Jefferson County, and I really think he's got a lot to do with it. He's out to bury me. And he is definitely a power broker. He wants to be a power broker. He's a wannabe. And he's more interested in doing than trashing the Republican Party than the Democrats are. Oh, they play the game. Yes, I'm a Republican, but you really have to be careful with the people in your own party. You just have to. So I'm telling you, folks, it's really an interesting situation right now. So I'm wondering, I know people are having problems logging on. I hope everybody's seeing this okay. And if you are, please put a message down. Let me know. Good morning. I see you're there. But I'm looking for everybody else. I'm wondering what they're really doing here. So who knows? It's really an odd situation. When you have to worry, seriously, I'm going to try something else here. It's really an odd situation when you have to worry about your own party. Now, I want to go into what happened last week. The state of Missouri, which has a Republican majority, passed the largest tax increase proposed by a Republican and voted in by Republicans. PDMP, which is a huge database that does nothing but collect your names and keep you from getting your weapons. That's what they did. These are Republicans. They brought the bill up. We're with the Republican last year, Dan Shaw, who proposed who was the author of the mail-in voting bill. I mean, we could go on and on here. But this is exactly what's going on. And, I've been trying to tell everybody this for years. So it's really, I'm glad to see my friend. Let me see if I can find his post here. I'm going to find my friend's post, Jim Lemke, because he wrote something, and I said, hey, who's that look like? Looks like me. Because I've been saying this for quite a while. And I'm going to read what he said, and you tell me. Jim Lemke is a former senator in the state of Missouri. He's a good conservative. And if it'll come up here, there it is. All right. I want to read this because this, I'll let you figure out what you think, who this sounds like. Let me see here. Okay. I've had a few days to reflect on my 20th legislative session in this Missouri Capitol. This may be the most disappointing thus far. The largest tax increase in our state's history, introduced by a Republican senator and passed by a Republican supermajority. That's the voters. The voters put these guys in. All right, next. PDMP, a government database introduced by a Republican and passed by a Republican supermajority. Yeah, let's get those Republicans in there so they can raise our taxes and take our rights away. That's exactly what's going on. Elections have a consequences. Electing any candidate just because they have an R behind their name. Where have you heard that before? Think about where have you heard that before? Oh, we got at least a Republican. You know, Republicans. You know, this is why I really get upset with Facebook, because I attack Republicans, which they hate. I don't hate Republicans. I hate Republicans what they do. You know, and we have a governor who's going to sign these bills. The largest tax increase in history in Missouri was passed by an R. You know, you have, and Tom, you're right. The governor created the statewide mandate by declaring a state of emergency when in reality, when it was declared, there was no emergency. His declaration opened the floodgates of political subdivisions, saying they now have the authority, and that's exactly what happened. All these health departments, what happened to these health departments? These health departments went out there and said, hey, we're going to do mask mandate. And by the way, did you notice? In Missouri, basically, the mask mandates are gone. All of a sudden, it's okay. But there are a few creepy corporations who are going to continue. This is a problem. And it's because people are, well, we elected a Republican. Oh, bullshit. If you think Dave Schatz, and I saw Dave Schatz, was it last week before, whatever it was, I saw him and I said, it was a week before, and I just said, he goes, what's the problem? I said, where do we start? I mean, it was just like, you really have to ask that? You know, when you have a Republican who's pushing the largest tax increase in history, you have to ask? That's not what Republicans are all about. I thought we were about good fiscal habits. I thought we were about the lowest taxes, and we did. Now, we're talking about in 5 years that the gas tax, which we had one of the lowest in our country, which we should all be proud of. But for some reason, we have to rate in taxes now. You know, when you've got Republicans say, yeah, but we don't rate as, we are really at the bottom of it. Good! That's exactly where Republicans are supposed to be. Good fiscal habits. No, we don't do that anymore. We don't care about fiscal habits. Who cares about that anymore? It doesn't matter. And it really is frustrating for me when I watch all these R's. They're not Republicans. And I'll go through the list in a little bit here. I'm so disgusted with the people. And by the way, There's saving grace, and this is politics, and this is where 90% of Republicans are going to forget about the largest tax increase, forget about the database, getting your guns and all that stuff. They're going to forget all about that because they passed the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Oh, that's a good thing. But what they're going to do is they're going to hide. Now, I know one thing, that we had some state representatives who obviously do pay attention to this show. And I have pounded them hard because they did vote for the tax increase. And at the last minute, this is how politics works. This is Politics 101. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to this. The ones running for Senate in Missouri voted, except for Becky Ruth. She's running for Senate, I believe. But Coleman and Dan Shaw said, no, we're not going to vote for it. But let me tell you how that works so you don't get all excited. They knew they wanted that tax increase to go through because they helped it get through. They helped it get it all the way through. And then when they found out what the votes were, this is how the political parties work. All right, you don't have to vote for the tax increase now because we have enough votes. So go ahead, so you can go ahead and tell your voters in the next election that you didn't vote for the tax increase. That's what happens. That's the kind of malarkey they pull. So well, it's about the votes. Yes, it is. But it's all it is they have figured it out. They figured out that you, the voter, and to be fair, they're right. They don't do this because they can't get away with it. They do it because they do get away with it. They can and they do and they always do. Because all they have to do is put a vote there. I didn't vote for that tax increase. Oh, no. And they'll give you that line of crap. In reality, I'd like to give them all a lie detector test. And a lie detector says that, did you vote that way because you really didn't believe it should be there? Or did you vote that way because you knew you were covered by other people? That's how it works. So this year, we got the largest tax increase in history in Missouri. Next year, all of a sudden, it becomes about you. You, the voter. You, the voter. Oh, no. We are really conservative this year. In 2022, all of a sudden, these clowns that passed all this stuff and everything are meant to pass it, they're all of a sudden going to become conservative again. That's how it works. Now, I saw... Oh, I got to find it. I have to find it. Let me see here. I have to find it. Where is it here? Da-da. I saw somebody explaining why he voted for this stuff. And I'll tell you what. Here, let me bring it over here. I want to find the right one. He responded and explained why he voted for all this stuff. Nate Tate. Now, I'm gonna explain to you how this works. Nate Tate. Good morning, everybody. He goes, I've had some folks ask why I voted in favor of the gas tax, and a few others insinuate that I was trying to hide something. For the record, my response is below. To address that I'm trying to hide something. Every vote we take is public record, so there's nothing that's easy. Back in 2017, he went to this. 2017. I was on the 21st Century Missouri Transportation System Task Force. That task force traveled and met with other people all over the state. We got to see firsthand what condition the transportation system was in. We got to hear, they got to talk to the people, and I'll get to that in a second here. He got to talk to people who are in the industry. And by the way, I went and looked up his Missouri Ethics Commission report, and let me tell you right now, he was getting money from contractors and stuff like that. He made it really good for the people to support him. I didn't see one person, and I went through like 10 reports. Everything was PAC related. That's who he works for. He doesn't work for the citizens. He will tell you next year he does, but he doesn't. So Missouri here we go. For me, some of the biggest takeaways were that Missouri currently has the fourth lowest gas tax, and the seventh largest transportation system in the country that encompasses roughly 34,000 miles. Whatever. He goes through all this stuff. The cost of materials has increased 2 to 3 times and all this stuff. Why didn't you find other ways? How about not spending so much on stupidity? My God, we could go around the state and see all these things they're doing, and it's all it's not what it should be. I mean, fiscally, Missouri Department of Transportation is horrible, just like all the rest of them are, because the voters keep giving them money. And here's the one thing that bothers me: the voters said no. But the Republicans, just like the Democrats, see, the R's, not Republicans, the R's, the ones that say the Republicans, said, no, we know better than you voters do. Now, I am not one for ballot issues. But this just should serve every Republican. Every Republican needs to look in the mirror and look at this and say, I am not going to vote for some jackass just because he's an R. Stop giving them a license because they got a letter next to their name. That's crazy. Good morning, Keith. By the way, I explained, I wonder if I can find it. I explained why I am in Facebook jail again. It was ridiculous. I mean, really ridiculous. And basically, I was going to read it exactly, but basically it just said, now I understand why let me just find it. Let me see here. Well, we can't do that. Can we? Nope, don't want to do that. There we go. Here we go. Let me find this real quick. Make sure I give... Ashley wanted me to give some news out here, an announcement. So let me catch up here real quick, and we will find it. But it's a situation. Honestly, it's a situation where I just found it almost impossible. Trying to see, I got to be very careful with this. Let me get rid of this and go a different route. Sorry, I got too many computers here. Too many computers. Okay, let's... Well, anyway, here, basically all I did was say something about the foolish Germans allowed Hitler to take over. That's all I said. I said, now I understand it. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, that's against community standard. What the hell? It was history. That's what happened. Back in the 30s, it was history. You can't even be honest. It's crazy. It's crazy. And we are allowing this to happen all the time. All the time. I am sick to death of these people. But I really believe, like I said, I think it's a Republican causing this crap. Okay, I'm starting to feel like you when I went to the Freedom. 15, 25 people showed up. I was speaking with a lot of patriots there when people drove from Springfield, Missouri, came from St. Louis. Well, you didn't last long. I didn't say anything. I said nothing that should cause a problem. That's my biggest beef. I mean, I didn't call anybody names and like that. I just said, that's what happened. Now I understand why the foolish. Now I'm trying to appeal with Facebook. God knows when they'll do anything or if they do anything. But it wasn't. What am I supposed to do? They just want me off. And I'll tell you what, it all goes back to the jackass attorney that we have in Jefferson County. He's going to do everything he can to report and bury me as much as he can. But he's going to have a few things coming here, and it's going to come back to haunt him. And I want to make sure he's sitting back laughing and say, yeah, whatever. But, it's going to haunt him. I told you, but I understand why people don't want to get involved. But damn it, if we continue to allow these R's that aren't really Republicans to run the show, and they're dirty and they're corrupt, and we allow it to happen, it's our own damn fault. And we better start taking advantage of it. We better start going through this and go, no, we can't allow this anymore. We can't allow this anymore. I am so disgusted with people that think that we are just supposed to not pay attention to this. Just go ahead and let things happen. I don't know. We have to do something. We just cannot continue to keep electing R's because they got an R. I mean, that's it. All right. Let me read this here. There's Jessica gave me this. Calling all parent volunteers. The PTO needs your help to make Field Day possible this year. If you are interested in leading a Field Day activity, feel free to sign up for more than one slot. Okay, due to safety regulations, Brentwood School District requires each parent volunteer present to provide a record of their COVID-19 vaccination. How you like that? That's the new thing. And that's exactly why, because your papers, please. Your papers, please. When I was growing up back a long time ago, I remember reading about that, and we were just, really, as kids growing up, I go, wow, they really didn't have freedom there, did they? We are there. Good morning. Out of Facebook. Well, guess what? I'm in. For saying what I just told you. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. It just never stops. It really never stops. And Facebook just continues and whatever. I don't really give a damn anymore. It's that's all we could do. Yeah. Well, look, I was just, all right, if you're watching right now, let me know what you think. Do you think I was correct in saying I now understand? It was just an acknowledgement. I now understand why the foolish Germans allowed Hitler to take over. Because they just went through the motions. They said, well, we're not really going to pay attention. And that's what all I'm asking people to do is wake the hell up and start paying attention. Stop voting for someone because they got a letter next to the damn name. And stop. The lesser to evil crap is killing us. I know you be at the go in there. I know you be at the school meeting. I think it would be beneficial. A member from the hospital board would be there. The mask. Here's what gets me. There's still some, even though, like in St. Louis City and County, they said, done. You could go back to full capacity, all that stuff. I'm looking forward to going to a couple places and seeing if they are allowing it. Because I still saw, I read somewhere earlier, that one place is like, no, we're not going to change a thing. We're not going to change a thing. By the way, computer chick, when I made a comment about the gas shortage, I was talking about the pipeline that serves the Southeast. I was talking about that. Yes, I know it didn't affect us because we weren't on that pipeline. But if you notice, that pipeline serves them. It serves the Southeast area, which is basically Republican. You don't think that wasn't a hit on DeSantis, especially, who's telling Biden to kiss it? I really don't believe. I mean, who honestly believes that all of a sudden a computer hack and really, it's $5 million. What, let's just say that's what happened. Are you trying to tell me, with everything going on today with the billions and billions and billions of dollars, that was it 5 million or 10, whatever it was, that if it was a hack and they came up with that, are you trying to tell me that the oil companies said, well, let's go without gas for a few days. Let's go ahead and have everything stop for $10 million. That's chicken feed to these people. That is nothing. So tell me, is anybody actually, if you believe this, I don't believe it. Maybe I'm wrong. I do not believe it. I think it was all set up, ready to go. Nothing unusual about it. That's it. But, that's what happens when you get Democrats and phony R's. I don't even want to call them Republicans because they're not. They really aren't. We really better start doing a better job. That's all I can say. I am so disgusted with my own party. I'm disgusted with the people in my party. Exactly. It's fake and planned. And anybody doesn't see that. I mean, really, isn't all this? Look at in what we see. It's been February, March, April, May, June. It's been almost 4 months. Not even that much. Not even close. Inflation has hit us. I know. I see them. I see these people. It's over, folks. One of my Facebook friends, if you are giving people grief about their mask, it's like, well, if you're doing this, you're a jerk, you're that jerk. Look, I give people grief about a mask because it doesn't help them when they play this phony game that it's helping someone else. They've actually bought into that crap. I'm going to give them grief. It's not helping anyone, and it's actually hurting you. Oh, I'm telling you, I know. It really is getting old. But I honestly am to a point with all this that we have to have a major brain change or something, because I am to the point with my fellow R's, my Republican friends are all upset. Why would you be upset with the very people that you voted and you continue to vote in? They aren't doing anything different. When they vote the way they do, we have a job to do. We are the owners. We actually have the power, but unfortunately, we give our power away. That's what we do. We give it away. I don't get it. Why would we give away our power? Why? Why would we tell a politician, oh, it's okay if you give us the biggest tax increase in history? How come there's no audits? Where is the audit of MoDOT? Where is the audit of all these cities? All these different, we've tried to get audits and we can't get them. The last person that actually did, I'm trying to remember his name now. Tom Schweik. Hey, I did well. Tom Schweik was the auditor. And by the way, is anybody familiar with who Tom Schweik is or was? Tom Schweik, a few years ago, was probably the greatest auditor we ever had. He was putting people in jail. Now, in the Republican Party elites, and you know who you are, please understand this. They did not like Tom Schweik because they were putting their friends in jail. He was putting their friends in jail. And lo and behold, this is politics. But the reason this stuff happens is because most of the people are asleep. That's why. He supposedly committed suicide. and they came up with this phony reason saying, well, he was upset because somebody accused him of being Jewish. Out of all the stuff going on in his life, that's the answer we were supposed to accept. I never accepted that for 1 second. And you just go on. That's what happens. When the corruption is owned, most don't care. You know, you're right. They don't care. They go through this. They say, well, it's not my, there's not much I can do. I'll tell you what they do is this is where I have so many problems with the people in my own party. They look for a hero besides themselves. They look for somebody else to do something besides themselves. Look, I'll be honest with you. I really don't give a damn about the Democrat Party because I think they're the minority. Except there are a lot of Democrats with an R next to their name. And they are being elected by the people some of the people watching this show. Actually, most people watch this show know better. But they are being elected by them. So, what do you do with that? If we don't concentrate on cleaning our own house, look, we just had a perfect example in this year's legislature. And guess what? These people want to get to higher office. Oh, yes. They want to use they want to get to the next level. Well, you know what? The Democrats did cheat in the election, but I'll tell you what. We could sit there and bitch and moan and complain all day long. I decided not to do that. I haven't done it. I just said we have to do what we can on our level. Let's say Donald Trump comes back in 2024. I believe the economy would be much better. I think he has much better control of all that stuff. But we're still going to have the pathetic R's in our own party until we identify them and get rid of them. You hear that? We are going to identify every pathetic R there is. We are, I was talking to Wendy about this yesterday, and I said, I think what we need to do with real Republicans is a select group of real Republicans is going to recommend who we support. We're going to take these people and we're going to bring them in and ask them questions. We are not looking for perfection. It's not going to happen. But we want to go out of our way to make sure that we don't elect any more fake Republicans. Phony Republicans need to join the party they belong to. They really belong to, and that's the Democrat Party. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and Lemke and I agree on this. Maybe I ought to have him on the show. Jim's a friend of mine. I would rather have an honest politician that I don't agree with, who at least I know who they are, and vote for that person over a phony Republican. It's time to stop. I stopped back when Romney was running. I've never believed Romney was a Republican. And back then, I just said, I'm not voting for the SOB. And man, was I destroyed. Well, they tried to destroy me back then. I was doing radio down in Springfield, and oh no, Dave, no, you're wrong. Really? I wasn't wrong. There's some things I'm pretty good at. I know that we don't agree, but the Democrats have to be proving for a long time. I don't care what the Democrats do. Because when we, look, we have to blame ourselves when 8% of the people effing show up. I'm sorry, it makes me mad. Effing show up, and more Democrats show up than Republicans. We're going to blame Republicans? I'm not. I'm going to blame our own party. I'm going to blame our own people. Now, they don't want to hear that. I don't give a damn. Right now, Look at what they're doing. Save our money and put out an ad before election time. We have to. Well, you know what? As many people as possible need to start funding real Republicans. Oh, here he goes again. You know, too many big talkers and not enough doers. I'll be honest with you. Am I happy with what the left does? Let me see. Let's go to Missouri here. Did the left pass the largest tax increase in history, along with phony Republicans? If we had real Republicans, we wouldn't have had to worry about the largest tax increase in history. We wouldn't have had to worry about a huge database to hand over to the federal government. We wouldn't have had to do that. Oh, but it's going to save lives. Oh, bullshit. I am sick to death of politicians saving lives. Let's talk about how many lives politicians saved in this past year. You know, we need ourselves as heroes. Every person can be a hero. You know, I got to tell you, when I really do mean this. There are some people that get it, and I'm not going to name names, but there's some people that when they support real Republicans, they do it with their money and they do it with their time. And some of them are really supporting it well. I mean, I am just in awe of some people. Not enough. And this is where we are. This is our political welfare system that so many conservatives must love, because they are expecting somebody else to pay their way, and they're going to go for the free ride, just like the welfare people we talk about with our tax money. Dave, you give all your time and as much money as you can, and I'll sit by and enjoy it. And I'll be just like the welfare people that I make fun of, and I'll show up and vote, but I'm not going to do anything else. If that is you, you are the problem. That's it. You are the problem. It's that easy. You know, my friend Ronnie here, he's back in here somewhere. He's down in southwest Missouri. And this happens with every organization. There's a very small percentage of people who really give a damn. Now let's go with the definition of give a damn. Oh, I really care. I really care. I'm on Facebook, and I show everybody how much I care. What do you do? Nothing. What do you give? Nothing. I give my time to Facebook. We see what that's doing. If that's you, honestly, or whatever platform you're on, and that's what you're doing, and you're not really getting involved with your time and money, you are the problem. You are the enemy. And who in the hell wants to listen to a show when somebody puts the truth right in front of your face? People don't like. You know, I've been telling people this for years. Most voters do not like the truth. They don't like it. But you know what? Okay, let's use it. Corporate welfare to the rich is worse. How do they get it? How, see, when it's like here you go. It's like having a leak, a water leak in your house. We just discovered we had one. Do you fix the leak? You fix the problem, right? I mean, if like I was in the appliance, if your refrigerator isn't cooling, do you fix the problem, or you just keep putting ice in it? You treat it like an old ice box and put ice in it, and maybe that'll keep it cold. Is that what we do? No, we fix the damn problem. And how do we fix the problem? By fixing the real problem. If the real problem is the inaction and the lack of cooperation from by drive-by Republicans. That's exactly what it is. No, I want a hero. There's too many people out there. We have to be the hero. Yes, it would be great. Trump comes back, whatever, and we have a few people come out, but you have to support him. I have been on this show showing you Missouri Ethics Commission reports. Politician after politician after politician doesn't work for you. They work for the people. They give them money. And it isn't you. Oh, you may give them a few dollars sometimes, but I can go in and look at every single one of these politicians. I could probably pull out a few, and you won't see squat, hardly, from independent. From donors, contributors, people, the voters. 99% of the people that are giving them money are PACs. So, as a politician, you look and see who's giving you the money, and you go, "Yep, I better take care of those asphalt people. I better take care of this. I better take care of that." The people that are they're there. Don't blame the lobbyist. You know, this is what a lot of people do. Let's blame the lobbyist. You're right. Identifying phony Republicans is great, but many voters will blindly keep voting them back. The machine is so entrenched it is. But Charlie, I think when you put the blame where it really belongs, you can't blame the lobbyist. And frankly, if the politicians are going to do that to keep getting reelected or whatever, and the phony Republicans who won't even bother to vet their candidates, they allow it to do it, we're gone. Our country is toast. You know, I use that. I said that the other day. Wasn't attacking anybody. It was like, there's where we are. Asleep at the wheel. I was talking about our own party. Asleep at the wheel. Asleep at the wheel. Hitler just took over. We have it right now. Asleep at the wheel. Maybe that's why. They don't want me to wake Republicans up. They want them to keep their asses asleep like they've been for years. Dave, why are you so mean to Republicans? Because they piss me off. It's embarrassing. Really, when I see 8% of the people show up, it's embarrassing. Really. Oh, I've already gone through this. All the signs are out there, and you go, wow, my head is up my ass. I didn't know there was an election. I wonder what all those signs were. Really? That's what it amounts to. Yeah. I got this card in the mail that says election, April 6th. I wonder what that's for. I wonder what's on the ballot. Yes. When so-called Republicans, drive-by Republicans, when they don't even bother to show up and we have a chance to take over school boards, oh, we love Trump. We're just not going to do anything. Trump himself, this is what pisses me off. So stop thinking Trump is telling you, and you aren't even paying attention to him. You're just saying, Trump, you do it. I'm not going to do it. Trump said we need to take the school boards over. We need to take over local politics. Trump said that. I've said that. And the voters go, well, I don't know anybody in the election. You see, I'm too busy to know who's taking my money, teaching my kids garbage, teaching my kids things that I would never want my kids to learn. Yes, my head is in the sand, and I'm not going to take the time to figure it out. And I'm not going to be involved in an organization because they keep asking for money. I don't get a damn penny of it. In fact, I give more than probably anybody. I I am stunned by and I am stunned that the inaction on our side is like this. It really is. It's really sad. It really is. But I get people all the time like, well, why don't you just read the headlines? It's like that's what you do anyway. What, you want me to read? I'll read a headline, and people go, wow, that's exciting. Our country's toast because of us. It is. 75 million Americans voted for Trump, and probably 74.5 million of them are asleep at the wheel. It just, I have to find this. I'm just, when I saw what happened in Missouri, and look, if you're not from Missouri, please understand this happens in yours too. Maricopa County. In fact, let me find something here. There is something I did want to talk about quickly here. Is something here. Michigan voter fraud attorney Matt DePernill's office is broken into. Don't you wish we had a corporate media? His office broken into. Then the VFW hall cancels DePernill presser after threats. Yeah, that's what happens. Hey, you veterans. And in fact, yes, before I was knocked off of Facebook, I was having a discussion with somebody who was a military guy who was a leftist big time, and he goes, "Oh no, all the investigations have been done, And I said, "No, they haven't. What about Maricopa?" "Oh, well, that's really nothing. Why do they keep trying to stop it?" You know what, Sherry? You're right. Trump isn't coming back. He did his Patriot. He opened our eyes to the corruption. It's up to us. And that's what it should be. But people are willing to sit on their asses and do nothing throughout the whole time so Trump can show up in 2024 and save them? They're assuming that next year, this is where we are. Drive-by Republicans are assuming that next year we're going to take over the Senate, we're going to take over the House, and all is going to be good. And then Biden can't do anything. Really? You ever hear of executive orders? You have the executive order king in charge right now. You do. So every day we get all this. Here, new video. And I know this. New video shows U.S. Capitol Police gave protesters okay to enter on January 6th. Are you going to see that on the daily news? Of course you aren't. The lie continues. The lie of January 6th is no different than the lie of Michael Brown. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. The lie is there. And it continues. Sherry, if people would stop depending on their hero, and I love Trump more than anybody, but I don't look at Trump and say, you have to save me. I have the ability to do what I can. The lie continues and we keep it up. Here's another one here. I was looking at some of these earlier. Disabled Army vet attacked by 4 black women, calling her a white bitch. Now, if that was the opposite, it's immediately a hate crime. Hell, doesn't even have to go near that far. But they didn't call it that. They're going to let a court decide if it was a hate crime. Now, if I was to, if there were a bunch of white people and they attacked a black gal and called her a black bitch, it automatically would be a hate crime. But if it's the opposite, it isn't. Come on, you're going to sit back and complain? Trump is finally letting things go. Trump issued statements blasting Pence and declaring the presidential election 2020 will go down as the crime of the century. And he is right. But I'm going to add to it. Mr. Trump, President Trump, it will go down as a crime in history that the left got away with because the right sat on their hands and did nothing but bitch and moan and complain. Not all of them, but most of them. Yeah, why is Biden Neil Harris? Here's another one. Not the Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs, not the election vendor, Dominion, and not Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. No one is admitting illegally deleting files requested by the files in that were deleted. Now, the left just says, get over it. Get over it. You know what the right says? I'm mad. Done. That's what they're doing. They don't want to put their butts out there. It might cost them something, time, money, and energy. You know, I really get frustrated, Sherry, when I see so few people doing what it takes to take our country back. I really do. I really do. I get so upset by it. By the way, the phones are working. You know, I watch this every day, and I really do lose my patience. I do. I have to regroup a lot because I watch. You know, I go in there. I'll look right now just for the hell of it. I'll look and see how our funds are doing, and you know, I'll look in there and I'll say, oh, wow, good. And then I'll see it's the same people. It's the same people. You know, we want a different, but we don't want to do anything about it. And until we change, I'm seriously, until we change things, that's it. So am I a pleasant person to talk to you right now? Probably not. Because I am so frustrated in so many ways. And I watch this every single day. And people, and I don't like doing any of this stuff. I hate it with a passion. I really do. I'm looking right now. And I see, I can't look anymore. I can't look because it's an embarrassment to be a Republican. It's an embarrassment to be a concerned person. And I've said this before, and I'm not giving up. You have. And every person watching this, I don't see, you know, we get it started here. And by the way, if you're from another county and you want to start a chapter, go for it. Let's do it. Let's get real Republicans all around this state, or at least make the connections with other groups. That's what we need to do. But when we're all on our own, you know, one of the problems we have with this to some extent is we have a lot of this happened with the Tea Party. You had Tea Party leaders. I was one of them. And I got to watch a lot of Tea Party leaders all of a sudden think that they were more important than the Tea Party itself. I've seen this over and over and over. I have. And it doesn't do us any good. You know, we continue to try to get better and do better, and that's what happens. By the way, did you get your vaccine yet? You notice when a doctor comes on Facebook or YouTube or something like that, or even Twitter, and he comes out there and says, I wouldn't be taking this vaccine, they shut him down. Whatever happened to free speech? Oh, it's theirs. I'm sorry. They do not deserve the rights that they're getting if they are going to eliminate free speech. They have rights that they don't. As far as I'm concerned, they're terrorists. When you see these social platforms, they're terrorists because did you know Hamas is still on there? But they won't let President Trump on Twitter? Yeah, Hamas is on there. Terrorist organization, they're on there and they can go ahead and do it. Oh, don't get me wrong. Oh, don't get me started on Building 7. I'm very familiar with Building 7. Back in the, for those you don't know, and a lot of people aren't aware of this. I remember when 9/11 happened 20 years ago. Wow. I remember where I was, everything. And I accepted up front the government. I wasn't as into it as I am now. I accepted the government story. And then one day somebody sent me a message and said, I want you to see this. I want you to see this. In fact, maybe I'll do it myself. I want you to see this. I said, what's that? And I'm going to show you what I'm going to show you this, and I want you to tell me what you think, because this changed my life. Now, they have done everything they can. All of a sudden it's like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, whatever. I don't really care. But I'm going to see when it gets to there. Oh, wait a minute. What they've done is they've cleaned up Facebook. And they've given a reason. No, this is by the government trying to tell us why Building 7 fell. I'm going to find, and I'm wondering if I can even find it. Because what they do is they clean it up and they go, hey, we're not going to allow us to be shown. They don't want to be shown. I'm looking on here now, and I don't see the videos that I used to look at. There's animations. There's all kinds of things. This is incredible. I haven't looked at this for a while, but I am seeing right now that they have virtually cleaned up all about Building 7. I am not joking. How disgusting. They are rewriting history is what they're doing. I'm going to see if one more here. There's a better one, but I'm going to show this one here. So this is in regards to Building 7. I want you people to see this. Now you can say what you want to say, but I want you to see this because this is a steel frame building. And I want you to see this. So let me bring this up. Make my screen bigger. And I want you to see this because this is real. Okay, here you go. See that building? Yeah. Look at it. I know some people don't want to hear this. Does that look like a building that just fell on its own? It was a steel. It wasn't the same kind of building as the trade towers were. I have my issues about that too. But I want people to see that. That video actually was other videos that actually show it better, which I cannot find. But that video is exactly what I'm talking about. And we are allowing that, and we are going to go ahead and allow, YouTube and the rest of them clean everything up because they don't want people to realize what really happened. Our government is corrupt. We got to stop thinking us so damn honest and sweet and wonderful. Oh, we go throughout the world and we save people. You know, that was World War II. Now we go around the world and we take over governments. We do all kinds of things. I'm reading some of these here. Well, when I showed you that on purpose. I know some people don't want to see it. I really don't care. You know, I've been called conspiracy. Look, I'm just looking at it, and oh no, it caught on fire. There's another one, and it's not. I didn't see it, and it showed. There's actually a camera on it, and all of a sudden you see this thing drop like a rock. The what you saw was same thing, except the other side. And they go, well, there was a fire on one side of the building, and it weakened the whole building on the other side. Give me a break. I mean, come on. And then they have these so-called government scientists explain it when scientists and engineers that aren't even connected with this said, that's a bunch of malarkey. It's exactly what happens. And we continue to allow it to happen. That's my point. And there comes a time when we just cannot continue to do it. We just can't. I don't care if they like it or not. They can stick it. I don't care. I'm doing it because we're going to take a break here in a second. I need to take a break. I need some water. Yeah. Forgot to get my water like usual here, but let me get this going here. And All right, we're going to take a top of the hour break in a second here. We'll be right back.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. The men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Alrighty. Get everything back here. Alrighty, we're back here at Super Dave Show. God, it just gives me goosebumps. It does. Gotta go. All right. Yeah, they're gonna pull it. Yeah, you're right about that. You know, and when I show that video, people, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist and run away. Look, I'm just telling you what I saw that. I was like, wow, and it changed my life because I thought, wow, we are being lied to. That's exactly what I thought. Exactly what I thought. And I'm not ashamed. I mean, you know, people are like, oh, well, you know, no, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed because it really was an awful thing. And when you see this stuff, and by the way, I'm just gonna have one more thing, and then I'll shut up about it. Did you know that the day before, Donald Rumsfeld went up there and said, no, we cannot. He was head of the Defense Department. We cannot find out where that $2 billion went or something, billions of dollars. And I'll be damned if the jet that crashed into the Pentagon didn't crash into that part of the building. Yes, that's where the records were. You know, you don't have to like it. It is what it is. Now, I want to go back to Maricopa for a minute here. Well, a couple things, actually. Maricopa. Data files reportedly deleted in Arizona before providing machines to Senate auditors may have been recovered by the audit team. They actually deleted them. Nothing wrong here. Let's just keep going. We don't pay attention. It's just no big deal. It is a big deal. Why is the Democrat Party working so hard? By the way, let me add to this. Instead of us just blaming the Democrat Party, let's do this right. Why is the Democrat Party and the never-Trumpers in the Republican Party wanting to stop this? There's a lot of never-Trumpers. Not near as many Trumpers, but there's a lot more never-Trumpers than you think. And they have no problem with this. They wanted to stop. They were in on it. That's just it. They were in on it. And we are going to allow this to happen? Are you kidding me? I have problems with it. Hell yes, I have a problem with it. We just can't let it go. But sit back and watch. I'm about ready to take a trip to Washington, D.C. Now, why would I do that? Because I think it's high time that we have as many true blue patriots go to Washington, D.C., and demand the release of the political prisoners we have that are being held by our government. And here's my question. Where in the hell is the Republican Party? You know what they're doing? When they're sending you these letters all the time, I don't know if they're sending them to me anymore. They're probably off the list. When they're sending these letters to you, it's Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and this person. They're going to do this. We want to defend you. Like we did in the election. We want to defend you. If you send $25, $50, $75, or even $100, you will be one of our favorite people. Here, let me interpret that. You will be one of our favorite fools because you're going to continue to put money in our pockets so we can continue this lie of us being real Republicans. Do you think Mitch McConnell is really a real Republican? I could go on and on from the local level on up. Next year in Missouri, I guarantee you, because Republicans don't do their homework, these politicians. By the way, I'm hoping to have one of my friends at our next Real Republican meeting I'm gonna work on a couple people, and I want them to maybe even sing my song, because a lot of them do agree with me on the R's. It's funny because I've been talking about the R's for a while, and if you notice, I have been one of the only ones talking about it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a news service here. We started it, but I did. I've been saying it for quite a while. We got so many people with the R next to their name, they're not Republicans. And now a lot of other Republicans are saying this. I'm glad they joined in. I'm glad. But we really have to start doing something. So anyway, I'll get back to what I said. We have a lot of phony Republicans. Phonies. They're not Republican. Phony R's. And they are still trying to get your money. They're going to use the Second Amendment Preservation Act. They're going to use that as their weapon to get you to vote for them next year for Senate or whatever position they want. They want you to totally disregard their legislative record. They want you to see them as like, yes, I want to put Trump, his name on the highway. And they realize that since you are so easily maneuvered, they're going to go ahead and say, wait a minute, I have to vote for that person because they want to name Trump. That's all you need. Doesn't matter if they pass the highest gas tax. It doesn't matter that stuff. That, and we get to keep our guns. Well, I find it rather interesting. You get to keep the Second Amendment Preservation Act, except for PDMP. You know, in PDMP, the authorities can go around, they can go ahead and look at your records and say, we don't want you to have a gun. They can make it up. It doesn't make a difference. We have given the government an open invitation to take your gun. But we're going to fool you with the Second Amendment Preservation Act. How do you do that? How do you do that? Well, yeah, but Linda, I looked at the final vote, and this is I'm telling you people again. So please listen carefully. Just because they voted against the gas tax doesn't mean they were against it. And I know people don't want to hear that, but you have to know what their record was, because some of them made sure that gas tax went to a final vote. And then what happened was that they tallied it. They knew who was going to vote for what. And they said, okay, I was going to vote for it, but I don't have to now. This happens on every level of government. I don't have to vote for it now because we have enough votes. Therefore, I will put my negative vote for my campaign next year when I run for Senate so I can look like the Senate we had just recently who voted in all this crap. They want a promotion. And I'll tell you what, I'm to a point, if we give a promotion, I'm out. I'm done. I'm almost done anyway, because if people aren't going to get off their asses and get involved and start really doing their part, I'm almost done. I really am. I can't do it alone. And we can't do it alone. We have to have everybody. Do you have any thoughts about the Missouri legislature not passing Medicaid increase of its... Well, let me tell you, Neil, I don't like ballot issues to begin with. I don't. Even the gas tax, I didn't like that as a ballot issue. So I am not a fan of any of them. We are a republic, and that's just it. We are a republic. And a republic, and this is where people want government to do everything. You want government to save you. I'm just not a fan of ballot issues. I'm not. People are uninformed, don't know what they're doing. Yes, I'm glad they voted that way, but I can't take away because the fact that we are a republic, if we would be more responsible and voted for the right people, we wouldn't have had to vote for it. That's let's go ahead and look at the total solution here. If you have, and this is where some of my enemies, some of the people that don't like the way I do things have to agree with me. They go, well, Dave, I have to agree with one thing. If we had the right Republicans, which I call the real Republicans, who would vote according to the Constitution, who would vote according to how we believe, we wouldn't have to worry about trying to go in there and kiss their asses and tell them they need to vote for this or against that. PDMP should never have been done. In fact, let me tell you the phony crap that happened in our county. John Lilly called in last week. He's my friend, the doctor. I have a few doctor friends who don't believe in masks, by the way. But anyway, we have PDMP, Prescription Drug Monitoring Program, prescription database monitoring. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't make a difference. Point is, we showed where it was instituted. Every other state in the union, we were in the middle. We didn't have it, and we were in the middle as far as problems were. And so that county council then went out of their way, and they voted and said no PDMP in Jefferson County. But what did the phony Republican back then, who was county executive, Ken Waller, do? He went to the piece of crap health board, which is liberal, just like him, and he got them to approve it, and they went over our heads. They went over the county council's heads, and they called it a health problem. By the way, it's not a health problem. Mental health, maybe. But you don't have people without any. That's what we have, too. We got a bunch of people on the health boards who are just people who don't know what the hell it is. They're very political. See, this crap of nonpartisan is the biggest pile of bullshit. When people believe that, I just shake my head. Oh, this is nonpartisan. Our school board election, it's nonpartisan, says the phony Republicans. The phony Republicans said it's a nonpartisan election, knowing full well that they were contributing to it, knowing full well that they are supporting the liberals who are ruining our kids. Our phony Republicans were in on this. The president, the chair, not president, the chair of the Republican Central Committee, Jim Burbridge, gave $600 to two different candidates. I think actually one other time he gave more. $700, I think it was, to two candidates who were liberals. Confirmed liberals. He's supposed to be a Republican. He's supposed to be supporting our values. He's not. What am I going to do about it? Watch it happen. Just think. I want everybody to understand. Right now, these are Republicans. These are so-called Republicans, drive-by Republicans. Here we have the highest tax increase on top of the gas prices, which are going to go over $3 a gallon very soon. A year ago, I paid $1.60 a gallon. Right now, the prices are like $2.79, $2.89 in Missouri. In Virginia, $7 a gallon. In Virginia. That's because they don't have any gas. Oh, that supply and demand means a lot, doesn't it? You talk about making sure that your lobbyists get everything they want. All you have to do is just have a hack job. All of a sudden, the price of gas skyrockets, and they call it a computer hack. You have companies with billions and billions and billions of dollars with some of the greatest security experts on the planet with them. And we are supposed to believe that this is a hack job. Oh, yeah, it's a hack job. They wanted this much money. We are supposed to believe that Florida, North Carolina, I think Georgia, a bunch of the states with that pipeline down there couldn't get fuel, couldn't get gas. And you see why. Because of a hack job. Where Where is our Republican establishment? Where are they saying, wait a minute, I don't believe this stuff? Where are our investigations? Oh, what do we hear? I mean, I get to hear this too. Well, they're an individual business. You know, if this was Trump, if Trump was president, the media would be blaming Trump. But now, what does the media do? The corporate media, let's call it what it is. The corporate media isn't blaming Biden. They're saying, yes, it's a private business and they'll work it out with the hackers. Yeah. Who's buying that crap? Who is buying it? Really? Most importantly, what are you going to do about it? Continue to let it happen. You know, we're having a meeting a week from Thursday. And I really hope to God that we overfill the place, that we just fill it like never before. I want to see people go there pounding their fist saying, we are going to get involved. We want results. We cannot continue. If you are someone that's going to allow your country to go downhill, you are my enemy. Every day I try to bring up what we have, and I read it on purpose. Albert Einstein said, and it comes up. Well, Albert, that's interesting. Why is it interesting? Why it's so slow loading up? Can't be that bad. Let me make sure I'm not. No, it shouldn't be a big deal here. Let me do it again. Weird how that works, isn't it? Anyway, it was Einstein said, the world will be destroyed. It will not be destroyed by those who do evil. So while you're concerned, this is exactly what I preach. When you're concerned that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Biden and all the rest of these people are going to destroy it. Oh, making a mistake. They're going to make it bad. But by those who watch them without doing anything. I live that every day of my life. Every single day. Oh, don't think that. No, actually, Carl, first of all, that cost Phillips a big donation. Shoot. No, their prices went, their people made money off of that. Never think this is the only people this hurt. How would you like to be in Florida and you're trying to go home? We almost went down to Florida then. And all of a sudden you can't get gas to go home. How would you like that? How would you like to wait for hours to be in a gas line? It's really sad. It really is sad. We should never, ever allow this to happen. Yeah, you're right. Space Force officer relieved after denouncing Marxism. Because they're doing a critical race theory in the military. You're right, Bianca. You're right. So we continue. We continue. That's how it is. We continue. Good morning from the state of Georgia. The CCP, state of Georgia. CCP. The Chinese Communist Party. That's what we become. We become, I remember growing up hearing hearing the exact same things. Good morning. The exact same things about the Germans. I really did. That's why I brought it up. That's why I said, wait a minute. I really now understand. I understand how the Germans did this. The foolish Germans. They were foolish like we're foolish. That's what got me in Facebook jail. It's just wrong. We have everything that happens all I can think of is, why are we allowing it? Why are we allowing? Why are we not doing? Why are we allowing people to be held without bond, with no charges? That's a political prisoner. They're not going anywhere. These are people, whatever happened to the Constitution? I care about the Constitution, at least from my house, from my computer. I really care about it. Yeah, you all saw Governor Kemp, by the way, is of Georgia. When I was sassafras, when we were in Washington D.C. on January 6th, I can't tell you how many Georgians I met that would have loved to kicked his ass. No kidding. Would have loved to kicked his ass. They were not Kemp fans. But he signed off on he signed off on it. Yeah, he did. That's just it. Everybody signed off. All these phony Republicans signed off, said, well, there's not much we could do. Well, let me see. They broke in my house and took everything, but we're not going to do anything about it. We're going to go ahead and give him a promotion. Yeah, the thieves came in and stole everything, and we're going to give them promotion. We're going to put them in charge. Why? We're going to put them in charge because we're not doing anything about it anyway. I really hope. Nobody knows if Liberty Principles, the Federalist paper that show intent and corrective actions must, but here's my key, Sassy. We have all these people who claim to love the Constitution. And we will defend the Constitution from our computer every day. We're going to tell the other people how important the Constitution is. However, we're really not going to vet our candidates. We're not going to help candidates. We're not going to help organizations like Real Republicans. We're going to sit on our fat asses and do nothing but complain. And that's where we are. Yeah. I know, the GOP convention. And you know what? Might as well be. Because you know what? Most of the people in the GOP leadership, politicians, are our enemy. You're right. We have mob rule. You're absolutely right. We have mob rule right now. There was a, maybe I'll show it here. There was let me find it here real quick. There was a scene, and what got me is not the fact that they were chasing this guy around. I want to bring it up here. Not the fact they're chasing this guy around, but this is downtown Portland. Where in the hell is the media when it comes to reporting this stuff? I'm dead serious. Where are they? Oh, we already had that. Where are they? That's my question. Let me bring this up real quick. They were showing, this is a video here. Let me get this ready for, this is a video here. And what I want you to see, this is downtown Portland. These hoods have taken over downtown Portland. They've taken over. And we've allowed it. I mean, they have allowed it. Now, we can go ahead and say no big deal. But I don't say that. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to show you right now what downtown Portland looks like. So with this guy chasing somebody else with a knife, I want you to see this. Notice the tents. fences. No police. That guy's being chased by someone with a knife. Look at how the boarded up areas. Yes. If you were a Portland guy, wouldn't you be proud? No police. Nothing. We're allowing this to happen, my friends. Where are the Portland people? Where is everybody? How would you like to have somebody come after you with a knife? People watching. And that's exactly what goes on in our party. People are just watching. I wanted to show you that because I find it disgusting. Let me get me back on here. I just wanted to show you that because it's disgusting. That's where we are. We cannot continue this. I mean, my God, this is. Yeah, we do. Facebook paid Kemp and Brad millions to sign off on the fake election. You are right. You know what? The only reason I'm on Facebook is because that's where a lot of my listeners are, my viewers are. And I'm back in Facebook jail now, and I didn't do a damn thing to deserve it. And that's what, we're I think they're waiting for another play. It's for me, the one thing, and at least you're on DLive, but Facebook does have a great platform, but it's fascist. It really is. It really is fascist book, no doubt about it. But I wanted to show you that because that's where we are. Now, this is one I hadn't seen before, and I do want to bring this up. After years harassing the President of the United States, Donald Trump, the fake news New York Times finally admits the Steele dossier was a lie that never materialized or has been proven false. Where in the world are all these people? But I want everybody to understand this, though. It was the Republicans who were in on this. We have to get rid of the phony R's on every single level. Yes, I will pound my fist down because I'm pissed off because we have to do something. We can't expect Donald Trump to do it. It's up to you, me, and everybody else. Oregon Governor Kate Brown only distributed $1.6 billion in U.S. government virus stimulus funds. Washington counties and Portland. They're just. But you know what? If the people, there's part of us to say if the people are that stupid, they deserve what they get. I agree. But in the state of Missouri, here, you people think you're really conservative Republicans, you're bitching and moaning. We can do something about it. Are you doing anything? No. The Steele dossier was a lie. We knew it, and that was it. Did we have a media that actually went out and reported this, went and investigated? Not really. They went out there, and all they talked about was the accusations. Accusations mean nothing. Prove it. I can accuse anybody right now of anything I want. That's an accusation. But when you're involved in politics, you don't have to prove squat. All you have to do is just say, this is what they said. This is what they said. Rhinos, phonies are the worst kind we could ever have. And it's about time that we start teaching these people who run around saying they're Republicans, it's about time we teach them a lesson. In my own county, we have a group here who thinks they are going to take over county. Actually, they're doing a good job of it because the voters have voted a bunch of D's in, Democrats, or whatever they're progressives. thinking they're Republicans. I mean, some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen in my life going on in my county right now. We have a lot of criminals in politics, but I know you're concentrated on Kate Brown and all that stuff, but where is the Republican Party? I've said this before. In our own county, I'm going to give you, for instance, why it makes a difference. When it comes now, I realize that every voter watching this show right now may not have what it takes or whatever it is to vet the candidates. And a lot of them want to do it themselves. I get that. That's fine. But I have seen way too often the very people vetting the candidates that wouldn't know how to vet a candidate if they had to. Because all they care about is what they say. If you are one of those people and you go, I really like what they said, you better be ready for my question. What have they done? Because I'm going to come back with the information I have, and I'm going to embarrass the living hell out of you because you go, I didn't know that. I don't think you, or you'll be saying, oh, I think you're wrong. No, I don't say things unless I know what I'm talking about. The folks I talk to who pay taxes say they pay enough. They don't want any more, no matter how noble the cause. You're right. I get tired of voters voting for taxes because they think this can help somebody else. They'll say, well, I don't mind taking your money and giving it to them. It is time for all tax-funded organizations to use better business practices, bingo, and save money like the school districts. All the school districts have to do is say, well, if we don't get the increase, we're going to have to lay off teachers. We're going to have to not be able to give them the books. Do they ever say, we won't buy those new uniforms for the football team? We won't put in that new turf field for the football stadiums? We won't do all this other bullshit that really isn't necessary? Do they ever do that? I'm trying to figure out why seriously, I grew up in a very poor family. I mean, if anything, at least I took my lunch with me, and I got a milk at school. Yeah, I remember that. I actually had a lunch. I remember we used to have, it was typical, sandwich, potato chips, and cookies or something like that. That's what we had. Now, for some reason, we can't, that's not good enough. We have to give you a really good meal. It's the government's job to feed you since your parents aren't doing it. I made it. How did I make it? Dead serious. How did I ever make it? The health department didn't need to spend almost $800,000 on property. How much will the building cost? You're absolutely right. It's ridiculous. And we sit by, and where is our jackass county executive who doesn't, who is probably the worst one we've ever had? And I thought Ken Waller was bad. Dennis Gannon and his loser attorney, the county counselor who does not represent us. He represents Dennis Gannon. They're both losers. That's you, Wes. You heard me. You had become a big loser, you big crybaby. He came around a couple years ago crying because he was running against somebody who said he was a Republican. Well, guess what, Wes? You said you're a Republican, and I don't believe that for a heartbeat. Oh, but I have an R next to my name. He used to be Democrat. I'm going to tell you right now, I know of a lot of former Democrats that I will take in as a Republican any day over phony-ass Republicans like yourself and others. Now, I know a lot of you people in Hillsborough and these other counties don't like what I say sometimes. And as you know, I really don't give a damn. But when you do such a lousy job I mean, I'll tell you what. It was from someone in the. Let's just put it this way: that I was told. I'm not going to say who. That said, you were probably the worst judge ever in the history of Jefferson County. And now you're working for the county because you didn't get elected. You ran around saying, but I'm a Republican. You should vote for me over somebody else. I know of a lot of Republicans that didn't vote for you because they didn't believe you were a Republican. Oh, but I like Trump. Bullshit. You like whatever it is that gets you the job you got. That's what happens in politics. But you know why they get there? Because we don't vet our candidates. That's why. You have no representation. Just take, and you're right. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I'm gonna go into a little bit now. Sassy, this happens to your place too, your area too. So please understand. In Jefferson County, here where I am, the useless, absolutely pathetic liberal board health department decided to spend almost $800,000 for 7 acres of overpriced property for a building they don't need. They got their panties in a wad, and all of a sudden they thought they were in charge of everybody's health. None of them had nobody on the health department has any medical training whatsoever. But they want to go ahead and raise your taxes and tell you to wear a mask and tell you to do everything else. I'm sorry, that is a problem. Ask an elected person to articulate liberty principles, then watch they don't know what it is. They don't. I hear about the Republican platform. I have friends that actually think this matters to elected officials. And so they say, well, we need to do something with the Republican platform. What? They ignore the one we have now. How about we get rid of the people who are running for office that are really not Republicans? I have a really good friend. I'm not going to mention his name. He's a great guy, great Republican, works hard. And he says that to me, and I don't say anything to him. I just kind of smile and say, if that's what you think. But the platform to me is nothing but a sales job. I don't even think they show it on the Republican Missouri GOP anymore. Maybe they don't show it because they're afraid you're going to have to prove it. They're going to have to prove it to you. The Republicans in office today, most of them, this is in Georgia, and you found that out with Kemp and Raffensperger and all these other people. They're not Republicans. I have to give the Democrat and the progressives so much credit because they knew up front that all they had to do. Here's a session with other liars. You go, now what can we do? What can we do here to get more Democrats elected in these areas that say they're Republican? This is easy. I've been saying this for a long time. All we have to do is slip some people in there, get to the Central Committee, do all these things, but slip some people in there who are really Democrats or progressives, which is what we are, make it good enough for them, and we're done. We elect those Democrats and call them Republicans. It doesn't matter as long as they do what we want. That's exactly what they do. How do you like that? Neil, I have to go back to your post there. All I can do is shake my head. How much more will the building cost, and how many more employees will they end up hiring? You know why they bought 7 acres? What the hell do they need 7? You know why they need 7 acres? Because they were like drunken sailors. No offense to drunken sailors. They spent their money like it was free money, like there was a tree out there. And they bought RVs and all kinds of things. They bought all kinds of stuff. They actually went and rented. This is what they do with your money. They actually rented a former Save-A-Lot, which was empty, and paid a hell of a lot of tax money, your tax money, to give out very few vaccines. They thought they were going to get like 5,000 a day. They thought they were going to have lines of people there. It wasn't their money. They were sitting there dreaming and said, wouldn't it be, just think of it. Here's Kelly Vollmer, director. Wouldn't it be great if we had thousands of people there? I would be a star. It would be great. We'll go ahead and we'll have this thing and we'll have the vaccine. And I will be a star. And it didn't happen. They're closing it. Here's your problem, Sassy. You keep thinking that any of those things matter to most voters. They only matter to the few. Because most voters, number one, I've said this over and over. I teach politics on this show. I teach how it works and what to look for. Now, unfortunately, we have a lot of people that are a whole lot smarter than me. The rookies are smarter than me. They're always smarter than me. The rookies out there that are they're supposedly involved have no clue of how this really works. And they're out there, and I would name people, I'm not going to, but they're out there telling you how this works, and I'm sitting there shaking my head. It's like, all you're going to do is throw more people into the trap. That's all you're going to do. Oh, well, this person's... No, they're not. I didn't learn what I learned overnight. It took a lot of pain, a lot of work, a lot of everything. And I think experience helps a lot when you've been doing this. And, Neil, you're an old fart. So are you, Charlie, and some of the other guys out there. After you've seen this for a while, it's pretty easy to spot, and you see what I'm talking about. Now, Neil and I have talked a lot, and Neil said, Dave, you're right on target. We need solutions. And we are trying to give solutions, but it's like you have to entertain the folks. Let's have a barbecue. And that's fine. That's great. And my friend Linda, well, we're going to have to do fundraisers because they're not doing anything. Yeah, you're right. I guess I need to sing and dance, and we'll find somebody to do it, Man, that's right. We are frogs sitting in our pot of liberty while Democrats continue to turn up the heat. You got that right. Man, do you have that right. That's, and that's exactly what I said happened. That's exactly what happened in Germany. Shame on me for pointing that out to Facebook. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, I appreciate the fact that Wendy lets me do my show on hers. I'm not trying to get her in trouble, and I don't think it will be. I don't know, but bottom line is that when I put my thoughts were very general, and it was it. I don't know how else I could have said something. Federalist Papers left by our founders has the solutions, but requires reading. Maybe we need IQ testing. Here's the problem with IQ testing. Well, let's put it this way. That makes sense. Don't get me wrong. And there are a lot of people that really don't have... I've always had problems dealing with people who don't have the capacity to figure things out. I've always been able to pretty much do it pretty easily, but it's something that I do. But many people, when I explain this to them, it takes a while to get it, and I didn't. Long story. I'm not going to go into it, but I never understood why it took people so long to figure it out. I do understand now, but now it's to a point where people are so stubborn. It's like, well, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. It's like, no, the point is you're not going to do anything. And that's a problem we have right now. When people don't do anything, we all lose. So I don't know what good IQ testing, because I know some smart people that actually fallen for this crap. Well, but we really need to keep electing Republicans. Every time I hear the phrase, we just need to keep electing Republicans, I want to say, there's two things that hit me. Number one is make sure they're Republicans, but number two is it's really easy to say, but you're not even willing to help. You just want to sit there and say it because it made you feel good. It made you feel good. Been 5 days. The only solution to our current political woes is Article 5, the ballot box, and candidates to stand. And then we get an excuse like, well, there's no reason to vote because it's not going to count. Why don't you find every reason not to do something? I don't like negative people. I'm sure I sound negative sometimes. But I want solutions. And solutions are not run away, give up. Giving up is not an option. That is where we have to stand. Picking equality candidates like walking through a minefield. You're right. But Charlie, one of the reasons we started Real Republicans is so, look what you did in your county. Now, we had the losers in our area, and I would post them, but I can't currently, of all the people who voted for this tax increase in Missouri. They did that in Perry County. Congratulations, Charlie. Charlie did the right thing. These are the people you can't trust. They have an R next to their name. They're Republicans. Why would you not trust them? Federal Summer 28 with constitutional sheriffs and posse in order to secure a free state shall not be infringed. You're right. The sheriffs are really the ultimate boss in those, and I don't think a lot of sheriffs understand them, but they're the ultimate boss in each county. Each county has a sheriff. And they're actually the ones in charge. Do you know that if the FBI comes to, they have to tell the sheriff, hey, we're coming in. When the feds come in, they have to contact. They just can't walk in there. And I'm wondering, when they showed up at my house, I wonder if they notified our sheriff. I need to ask them that. Because they were coming there to harass me, as far as I'm concerned. And I just said, where was it here? I just said that it was finally admitted. The new video shows U.S. Capitol Police gave protesters okay to enter. They moved the fences. You don't see that. When you tell the left, the idiots that don't know what happened, when you tell them what happened, what do? Oh, no, it was only Trumpers and they broke in. Well, they actually moved the fences and said, come on in. Because I guarantee there were some Capitol Police there that were agreeing with a lot of them. One official identified the video and confirmed by charging documents as Officer Keith Robichaud appears to tell Shelley's group they won't stop them from entering the building. We're not against. You need to show us. No attacking, no assault. Remain calm.
Everybody, listen up.
Hold on one second here. We're gonna show this. This is on Rumble. You're not gonna see this on YouTube. So we're gonna show this real quick here. This is the video at the Capitol on January 6th. I was not in the Capitol.
Everybody, listen up.
The police here are willing to work with us and cooperate peacefully, like our First Amendment allows. Gather more Americans under the condition that they will come and gather peacefully to discuss what needs to be done to save our country.
Now, did you see the police there? Are they going to charge the police too? This is why it's the biggest lie ever.
You understand? Show us no attacking, no assault, remain calm.
We're not going to assault. We're going to be heard. Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This has to be peaceful. We have the right to peacefully assemble.
There you go. You going to see this on TV later? Hell no. You're not going to see it all. This is where we are, folks. Have you noticed the palaces that are being built? This firehouse. Oh, my God. Don't get me started on that, Neil. Yeah, I've talked about it many times. You know, I want everybody to look around at what government is doing. I grew up in the city of St. Louis. We used to have a firehouse down the street. A hell of a lot more buildings that they had to protect. A hell of a lot more fires. You come out here in the suburbia. We're obviously in Jefferson County. You come out here and you see them building these palaces, these really beautiful big buildings for 2 ambulances or 3 fire trucks. I mean, elaborate buildings, lots of money. These schools, I remember going through Clever, Missouri. Clever, Missouri is really a very small area. And the school was spectacular. You look at these schools and they're spectacular. And if they're not, they're going to come to you and say the building wasn't worth keeping. In fact, back to what you were talking about before, Neil, the building that the Jefferson County Health Department is fine. But it's old. It's 60 years old. Or I don't know what they said. It doesn't matter. It seems to be working fine, but no, we want a new one. We want to have a big, spectacular building. And so while the Republicans are when the drive-by Republicans stay away and allow the leftist and the progressive R's, not Republicans, progressive R's who claim to be Republican, when we allow them to do this, it's our own fault. And you are right, Sassy. The insurrection was on November 20th. It was in November 2020, not January 21. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But wait a minute. I was at a Jefferson County Republican Club meeting, and a woman there said, it's all going to be different now. It was the biggest farce I've ever heard in my life. But, God bless her. She's there, and that's it. But she's a newbie. She knows everything now. Yes, those 75 million Trump supporters are going to be out there. They're going to be working hard. They're going to be trying to change things around. And 8% of the people showed up for a school board election, and the majority of those were leftist. Yes, they were really upset. Well, they're concerned about the vote. Give up. Yeah, that's it. Just give up. Go home, give up, wait for the Chinese to take over. That's it. I'm speechless sometimes. I really am. That's hard to believe, isn't it? Oh, that's right, Charlie. You're right, Charlie. I got to go to that meeting when the gentleman was there telling you how big and beautiful, wonderful it is. I bet you it'll make you and Keith and the other conservatives truly proud to have this big justice center. And they complained about the things that they did. This office is really very small. And we need to have a big building, a big, beautiful building. We have to show that Perry County's on the map. We have to have this and this. And it's not going to cost us almost a thing. Because all the people that come through Perry County are going to be paying for it. Yeah. And people bought into it and said, please tax me. Please, let's have another big, beautiful building here. And then the other building will sit there and go to waste and do nothing. And I'll never forget at that meeting, Charlie, and you're probably glad I asked this. Here I am, a newbie, and I asked the question. I said, hey, what are you going to take away to help, to eliminate, to help pay for this? Wow! Are you kidding me? We spend here. We don't save. We don't do anything like that. We aren't going to take anything away. What do you suggest? And they went through what they always do. Do you want us to get rid of the firemen? How about the police officers? How about this? How about that? And people who don't think said, oh, he's right. Well, the Democrats and the phony Republicans, the phony R's, are the biggest reason why. New building because the old one is what? Ineffective. That's why they moved the old house from Telegraph to, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I used to live by one of the places you're talking about, Neil, in Rock Community. Oh my God, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful firehouse. Oh yeah, and actually, I don't live too far from a firehouse, and I look at it, I wonder, well, you know what? I wonder whether they're going to say that one isn't quite up to snuff. We need to build a bigger and better one and buy all kinds of more equipment that we're never going to use. Do you know that? They buy equipment that they would never use. They do it all the time. In fact, let's go a step farther, Neil. It was a Rock Community Fire Department that went out there and asked the voters for more money. And they bought their firemen bulletproof vests. They've never been shot at. It happened a couple times in St. Louis City, which is no shock. And so they just said, hey, we got so much money coming in, we're going to go ahead and we're going to buy it. The drive-by Republicans are responsible for this. They gave Senator Paul Whelan all kinds of grief. Well, not them. Another group, the 9/11 group, 911, the call-in number. They started it here, and they said for 10 years, we're going to have a half-cent sales tax, and after 10 years, we should have everything in line, paid for and all that stuff, and we're going to knock it down to a fourth. But as soon as they came up, it was like everything else. Like, no, wait a minute. We're enjoying all this money. We're paying our people extremely well. And we think we need to keep that half cent instead of going down to a quarter like we promised. And the voters didn't know what the hell they were doing. And they said, okay, let's do it. We're going to go ahead and vote for that quarter. We'll go ahead and vote for half because we don't want to lose 911. They weren't going to lose it. They just weren't going to be supporting an overfunded organization. That's the whole idea. And Senator Whelan came through and tried to pass legislation to stop it. It's so ridiculous. Carl, it doesn't matter if the vest won't stop something. As far as I know, there's never been a Jefferson County fireman ever shot at in the line of duty. By the way, the police department the sheriff's department doesn't even have hardly any vest. It's ridiculous. But like you said, Neil, we have to spend more money on these big palaces. Oh, we have meeting rooms. You know, when I grew up in the city, you know what they had? They had a couple fire engines or ambulance, whatever. They had it, and that was it. They didn't have all kinds of workout rooms and big kitchens where you think you were eating at a fancy restaurant. They didn't have any of that stuff. They didn't have yard services that came in there and mowed their yards. I guess, do they still even wash their own? Goodbye. Take care, my friend. Do they wash their own? I don't even know. Do they even wash their own fire trucks anymore? I don't know. Do they? Help me out. Do they? No, they want us to pay for everything. And not only that, they all want to make six figures. my son is on an ambulance board. And, oh, wait a minute. Let's get back to something else, though. I am always giving people grief for not getting involved. Putting your name in the bottom line. Everybody's too busy. And for a lot of my retired friends, I'm sick of hearing from you. I really am. You have the experience. You have the knowledge many times that you can walk into many of these political positions that are being held by people with no experience and no real integrity whatsoever. You have that, and you're not standing up to the plate. Well, I don't like what it does. We can change that. You know, if you change the people in government from corrupt to not corrupt, you just did something major. But here's what Republicans do. We sent them a message. We sent them a message. They're not going to vote like that again. Really? Does it happen? Rarely. Oh, yeah, it may happen some days. Hardly ever. If I have a new state rep, congressman, whatever, I may give them a little slack to start out with. I'm not giving them much, though, because most of the time, seriously, they're doing what the hell they want to do. It doesn't matter. Oh, wisdom and experience is the greatest value. I'm telling you, when I was, you know, I always talk about my personal life with Dad Stuckey. He was my mentor. And the one thing I always wanted, and I don't know if I've gotten there, but I always strive for it, is to have the experience and the wisdom he had, to be able to see situations, because that man, in most cases, could see things. And he saw it. I will never forget. I will never forget sitting with him. And this is for you, for the gun people and the government, you know, the over government stuff. Sitting with him, watching the ATF go in there, and I think the FBI was in on too, going in there in Waco and burn the buildings down, killing all those kids and everything else. The man was almost in tears. He said, because he used to be a motorcycle cop, and he said, I left the police department of the city of St. Louis, and I went to be an ATF agent. We started that agency. He said, this breaks my heart. They have become hoodlums. The very group that I helped start had become hoodlums. And I have heard that from FBI people, so many. So right now, why is it like this? We can blame the FBI, we can blame everybody. But we have all these loser Republicans up there that we have elected. We are the problem. And Sherry, I don't think people, young people don't understand and actually don't appreciate the wisdom that many of us older people have. But you know what? The very schools that nobody bothered to go vote in the election, the very schools are the ones that are teaching their kids. Don't listen to those people. We have a new history. It's called the 1619 Project. There's not two sexes. There's 58 or whatever to come up with. These are the people teaching your schools, and you are sitting by going, well, that's okay. Let's give them more money. Maybe that'll help. Oh, yeah, we see what that's done. The per capita expenditure on kids today is higher now than ever, and you would think that they were all going broke. We didn't have the biggest, most beautiful buildings in the world. The teachers were there. They taught what they were supposed to teach and not teach indoctrination. They weren't indoctrinating the kids. Oh, there were a couple, I'm sure. Yeah, let's hear for Janet Reno. She should go down in history as the worst ever. Worst attorney general ever. We allow this stuff, and that's just it. We can blame everybody else we want. But right now is your chance, and you're waiting for Trump to do something. You're waiting for somebody else to do something. Go to realrepublicans.net. By the way, I applied for realrepublicans.com, and I'm sure my jackass opponent in Jefferson County had something to do with that, really. Maybe I'm giving him more credit than he deserves. I don't think so. I really don't. Because what happens is when we go out of our way to allow this to happen, I got to go. I keep repeating myself. I'm frustrated because, I just can't understand. All right. As far as tomorrow goes, I don't know if I'll be doing on Wendy's again, whatever. I'll absolutely be on D Live. No telling what's going to happen. I don't know if Facebook's going to say, yes, it's okay. I doubt it. Who knows? So anyway, we will see. So I'll be back tomorrow on D Live for sure, and who knows what the hell else I'll be on. So I appreciate everybody listening today. I threaten you. I will be back tomorrow. Please, please, please get involved in every way you can. Go to realrepublicans.net, and if it's not in your area, whatever, you got Perry County Unite, I think it's called, and they're like our best friends here in Missouri Republican Assembly. We have a few. But no matter what, we are going to do our best to vet these candidates and make sure that they do not own us in the next election. We can do it. All we have to do is change who's in charge. So, all right, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You can't quit. And why not? Like a fire. You can't fire me. Why not? He quit.
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is! Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's over.
It ain't over now! Cause when the going gets tough! The tough get going! Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
Thanks. I needed that.